Hi all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jacob Phillips, if you haven't seen any of my videos before. Wanted you guys to give me some help. I'm trying to help build my audience, and so let me know some accounts that I should be following. Let me know some different YouTube channels I should be subscribing to and interacting with. Point out some solid coach accounts for me so I can start commenting, so I can start interacting, and so I can start kind of building my audience here on YouTube. So I need you to help me out. So put in the comments what accounts I should be following, what channels I should be following, and let me know. I'd love for you guys to help me build the audience, but also just we can create a great community here, and help me out doing that. That would be great. We're continuing our series on the Veer today, the original RPO, and we're talking about Veer versus a 3-4 defense and how we will attack that. Really excited to talk about this. I love Veer versus 3-4, and so let's get started with it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at what technique is the defensive end in. So in this instance, they're in a 4, they're head up. But if we're in a 5 technique, the end is in a 5, we'll say he's shaded like that, we're going to call down with our tackles. See my previous videos if you haven't seen them to get a fuller explanation of what our tackle calls mean. But we're going to call down, and the blocking scheme for that is we're going to send our tackle to the Mike linebacker. And our rule is we tell our guys we want to run down until we can't run down. So even if this tackle becomes a head-up player, we can still run down if that tackle's more athletic than their tackle and can dip and rip and get underneath to get to this Mike linebacker to wall him off. Left forearm, right punch, wheel. Okay? So if we call down, that's what that tackle's going to do. As I've said in my other videos, the tight end, unless he has an S in the blocking scheme, in the tackle call, he's not going to be involved. Unless he has an S, he's going to veer release. He's not going to be involved in the blocking scheme. So with down, he's going to veer release right here. Again, he's going to open up, take 3 steps, keeping his shoulders parallel, and go block for pitch, whoever that is. Okay? Then our rules, which are fairly consistent. We want to say these 3, center and both guards, have the nose and the will linebacker. Okay? So if the nose happens to go like this guard is going to cave him, and this center is working to get to his play side hip. If the nose goes like that and the will comes right here, the guard's going to pick him up. If they switch assignments, and the nose tries to shoot this gap and the will comes there, then this guard's going to pick up the nose. The center is also going to pick up the nose, and the guard will have the will. So wherever they go, those 3 have those 2. Typically, we're going to try to scoop this with the backside. It's usually going to be he's going to chip through this nose and cut off the will. Center's just trying to open his hips just a little bit so the guard can scoop and get under there. It's normal Veer rules for that. So again, with Veer, if we say this is A Veer 6, which make sure I write that up here. A is our base formation, I formation, tied into the right. If we say it's Veer 6, every lineman's going to take their 6x6 step, unless they have a different assignment to seal off. So that guard's going to take a 6x6 step to the right and try to get to the hip of this guy, the nose, and open him up. If this guy's in a 5, we shouldn't have to touch him with the tackle. We will tell protect, take our 6x6 steps, and run. We'll run right at this will. Likely won't be able to get there because that will be too quick for us, but we can get that strong safety and cut him off. Okay? So we are going to be reading here the tackle and the stud. And then what's very important to teach is obviously they have to have some kind of combination of sending guys to dive, sending guys to quarterback, and sending guys to pitch. So you have to see who they're assigning to what. It's very unlikely that they're going to assign this down lineman to pitch. He's likely going to be that dive player. So we'll read him to start with, but you need to figure out, are they sending this strong safety, or the stud, out to pitch, and the free safety is rallying to quarterback, or are they playing free safety to pitch and strong safety to quarterback? So that will determine what blocking schemes will work well when we go to 4-eye, when the tackle's in a 4-eye. Versus a 5, it's great because we read this guy and we get going. There's kind of not enough bodies in that area to really help us. We get this. This is a great invitation for us to widen our splits and for that tackle to get to the mic and for us to have that fullback run a long ways. Again, that fullback's coming right off the crack of the guard, and he's running right off of that down block. Tailback still running his 6-by-1 relationship. Quarterback is reading that tackle. If he's pulling it, he's going to attack downhill. So that's our first one. If we have 5 techniques, we'll call down and we'll read the 5 technique and get a true ride on it. Now, if we go weak side on that, I'll show you that real quick. It's going to be a pretty identical blocking scheme. So we'll say this is now a Veer 5 because we're going away from the tight end. All right, so again, call is down. We're going to go run down right here. These 3 have these 2. Chip through, cut off, scoop, scoop, tail protection, trying to get underneath the 5 with that tied in. Our read is here and here. First reading the end. If he takes fullback, he's going to keep and try to pitch off of him. If he doesn't, he's going to give. And again, we want that tackle to have wide splits. If we have no one in that B gap, we want to have wider splits. So that's what it looks like to the strong side and to the weak side versus a 5 technique. Now it gets a little more complicated when we talk 4-eye. So we'll go ahead and do that. If we have a 4-eye or a 4, maybe where we're not sure which gap that guy's going to take, we have some things that we can call. So as I said before, we're going to call down until we can't call down. Now, what would stop that? Well, a 4-eye is going to stop that. We want to read him. We don't want to block him. So if we try to call down versus a 4-eye, just to show a quick example, we can't do it because he's going to be in the way. So if we've got that 4-eye there, we want to run down to the linebacker, well, we're just going to run right into him, and we're just going to be blocking him. And that's not what we want to do. We want to read him. We want to read this first guy, the end man on the line of scrimmage right there. Or, the first guy past the line of scrimmage. So we want to read him. So we have to get a little creative. Now, this is where I think the stuff that we run is better than a lot of college programs. If you look at teams like Air Force and Georgia Tech, as far as what they run for Veer, it's generally this loop scheme, which I'll explain. But we have several schemes that we like to use and that we like to attack odd defenses with. So we'll go ahead and draw this up again. One thing that really is going to determine, maybe not your blocking scheme, but how you're going to run this is rotation of safeties as well. A lot of teams kind of like to do this. And in that case, weak side Veer is going to be very good. Some teams will do this, where it's just a too high look, and they play them really tight. And that they basically will just be in man coverage, and these 9 techniques are going to come hard off the edge every time. In this case, your strong side veer is going to be a little bit better. Okay, so we already talked about 5 technique and down, so I'll go ahead and erase that. So 4-eye, we got this guy inside. I'll go ahead and make him a little more inside here. So our first one is strike. So as we said, whenever the tight end is, if we call Veer 6 to his side, and so we call Veer to his side, excuse me, and we call anything with an S in it. Now that tells that tight end he's got to pay attention. He no longer is just Veer releasing. So if we run strike here, that's telling this tight end to run right at the Mike linebacker and ear hole him. Again, we want to use left forearm, right punch and wheel, but he's got a great angle. He can really blow that guy up. So we call strike. He's going right here. Bam. Our tackle is taking 1 step back, opening up, and kicking out. So it really just looks like 1 step back here and then kick out that way. So we want him to run him to the sideline right there. Okay? Now we're reading here, and then we don't have a second person we're reading. This is really a great blocking scheme for that quarterback. It's really going to be more of a downfield. I will pitch off of this strong safety down the field a little bit. It's always from our receivers, we have a slice and a mirror block, or a mirror and a slice block, excuse me. Same rules from our guard and center. Chip through to the will, scoop, scoop, tail protection. If this is a 4-eye, he's going to have to get inside. I should draw that a little more accurately. He's going to get inside of him and cut him off. Okay? Now, we also teach the quarterback, when it's a 4-eye, there's no way that this 4-eye is going to take you. The only time that may happen, and it will occasionally happen in a game, is this 4-eye is so fed up of tackling the fullback and the fullback not having the ball, he just won't tackle him. And in that case, we need to have a true read. But versus a 4-eye, we're generally say, okay, QB, you're going to flash fake it. So he's not going to fully ride it. He's just going to put it out there, fake, and attack downhill. The reason, again, we say that, this guy's in the B gap. He's a 4-eye. He's always going to take that fullback. The coaches are hammering that tackle all week. Fullback, fullback, fullback. And so he's going to take that fullback. Okay? So again, this creates a nice seam for us right inside here. And with that strike call, that QB's one-on-one with the strong safety, and if he's able to work it back out to this track, he can get it to the tailback for a touchdown. So that's, obviously, we can only run that to the strong side. We can only run that to the tight end. So we call strike. So if we want to keep it balanced, we can call a tight, and that will put another tight end right here. And that way they'll have a hard time guessing which side it is. Or we can run a different scheme to the other side, which I'm going to show here. Our primary scheme that we want to run with no tight end is over. And this, of course, will be another call from our tackle. Okay, so if we call A Veer 5 in this instance, now we're running over, and this changes our blocking schemes a little bit for our guard and center, where we used to have the same rules. With this, we have different rules. So with over, it's for the tackle, it's going to be the exact same block as a strike block. He's going to take 1 step back, open up, and attack. Now, I should say, we're telling him with both strike and over, he's blocking for quarterback. So if this guy, the weak safety, opens up and goes to pitch right now, we're telling him not to chase that. Don't chase that. Instead, turn up and find whoever's coming to QB, because someone is assigned to quarterback. It could be the will linebacker. It could be the free safety. We're not sure. It's whoever comes. And so in Veer period, we will work. Sometimes we'll send him to quarterback. Sometimes we'll send him to pitch. We vary the assignments so that way our tackles and everyone gets used to blocking so many different looks that we run it extremely well on game day. So if we run over, now he's going to kick him out. Our guard is going to take a great angle and get to the play side shoulder of the play side linebacker. So he's going to get outside shoulder, right forearm punch, and wheel. We're scooping here with our center and our guard. We're tail protection underneath here. Tail protection again. At a corner here, mirror block, or slice block, excuse me, mirror block. Okay, so who we're reading again is here and here. Again, it's very important during games to see who is taking who. Because of this, weak safety is taking pitch. And this guy wants to hop out here right there immediately. It can be hard for him to get there. You have to let your quarterback or your tackle know, oh, I've got to actually turn up right there to get to our quarterback man, who's that guy. Okay? Again, with a 4-eye, they're going to take the quarterback. Or the fullback, excuse me. They're not going to take quarterback. Any 4-eye, they're going to take that away. Okay? Another option we have, and that we like to pair, I'm going to go and make a little note here, is we can call loop. And loop works very well versus a stack defense. I'm going to finish showing versus a 3-4. Talk about loop. And this is a great sort of goal line look for us as well. All right, so if we have our tackle called loop, now that's saying he's again blocking for quarterback, but now he's going to take one right parallel step and attack. So that's going to help us if this guy is going to QB. If they have this guy releasing the pitch and he's going to QB, that will have us cut him off right there. Guard is doing the same thing, right step right at the mic. If the mic blitzes, he takes him. If the mic tries to scrape, then he's going to cut off the will right there. Center, scooping the nose with the guard. Tackle is tail protection. Still have a mirror on the play side, slice on the back side. Okay? Fullback is still running his track right at the crack of the guard. Still running our 6x1 track. And so again, it just depends on whoever shows up for quarterback is what we're looking for on loop. Now, we have a great goal line call. Let me back up. Again, this doesn't start with the S. So with loop, he's going to veer release for pitch, whoever that is. Okay? Weakness of this scheme versus, say, strike is it's harder to secure the nose. We're not striking over. We're not having that play side guard chip nose to backside. He's leaving for a different assignment, so it's harder to secure the nose. So if you have a good center, these are good calls. If your center is not quite as good, he's not as quick to cut those guys off, you have to rely more on strike or down where you're chipping through to the backside. Okay? So, but if we call loop with base, and so what we will do is we'll say base as a huddle call. So we'll say Avier 6 base would be the call into the quarterback. That's going to tell our tackle that we want him to call loop. So if we call base, loop with base, that means we want the tight end to kick out the 9 technique. Okay? If they've been coming hard for quarterback, but it's a goal line type play, and we really want him to just get in, we will call loop right here. We'll have those guys get onto their play side linebackers. We will base him out and slide in right there with the quarterback. That's been a really great goal line call for us, and we've enjoyed that quite a bit. All right. Make sure I got all my stuff in here. Yeah, thank you for watching. Again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'll have a video out about Veer versus Stack and Veer versus Bear defense coming out probably within the next week or so, but we'll see. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.